Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Urban Legends video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's continue with another set of urban legends here from the wonderful website urbanlegendsonline.com. In this case, I'm going to showcase two of them here, give my own thoughts and opinions afterward. Both of them have to do with creepy stories, one of them that I've actually kind of talked about in the past. I remember something involving a bus and something involving some mysteriousness associated with this almost phantom-like bus. So let's go ahead and let's share these two entries here. And as always, I'd love to hear what your own thoughts and comments are as well. The first one has to do with the title, The Wandering Bus. The next one is called Wait for 3 Knocks. Now that one truly is an urban legend. So let's go ahead and let's share these two here. And then once again, I'll give my thoughts afterward. So the first one, The Wandering Bus, goes like this. There is a bus in Philadelphia which SEPTA does not talk about. It is not listed on the website. It has neither schedule nor route. It drives the city in a pattern known only to its driver and perhaps not even to him. Its electronic reader board never displays a number, only SEPTA. People who know it call it the zero, the random bus, the wandering bus, or just the bus. It is not a bus for people who know where they want to go. It is a bus for departures. Now, the bus has a way of showing up when you are at your lowest. You will hit a certain point, feel a disconcerting crumple in an inner place that you thought was solid, like a hand crushing an origami box. Just then, you look up to see the bus a block away. You always need to run for it, but just a little bit, just enough to show you need it, and it will wait. Now, there is an automated voice. It does not say Route 40, service to 2nd and Lombard, and so on. The bus does not deal in those specifics. It says only service from and the name of the intersection that you are standing at. The doors clunk open, you get on board, the doors hiss shut, and then the bus moves on. The driver does not ask where you want to go, but many passengers tell him anyway, just drive. And so you pay your fare if you can, but if you can't, the driver will nod with eyes covered by his blue hat, and you will nod, and then you will head over to your seat. The shifty and the shameful and the shameless ride Philadelphia's buses, but most of them are trying to get somewhere. They want to see someone or acquire something or get to a place by a time. The wandering bus is not for them. Its riders are the people who need to leave wherever they are at that moment and just leave. The bus goes everywhere. It has been seen in West Powelton and Grad Hospital and Center City. It drives down Passyunk and Haverford and Dauphin. Most people don't notice the bus because it isn't the one they're looking for. If your heart is bright and your spirit buoyant, it is likely that you have never seen it. The wandering bus serves a wider clientele than you might think. The failing businessman, the addict's sister, the questioning reverend have all ridden on the bus, even a mayor and a police chief and a manager of the Phillies. There is no conversation on the bus. What's more, when you get off, you cannot recall who was on the bus with you or how crowded it was. You just remember only that you sat by the window and watched the city slide through your translucent reflection. At some point, you were moved to pull the cord and disembark. One night, your feet hit the pavement, the bus pulled away, and you found yourself near to where you needed to be. Folks say that some people have ridden the bus for years on end. Others predict that the bus will one day leave the city, taking its passengers with it. A woman who knew many things said there was a wandering bus in every city she ever visited. There are even a few who claim that if you ride the bus long enough, you will one day be dropped off back before your troubles began. But those people are never on the bus when they say it. And that's it. That's everything associated with the first urban legend. So let's go ahead and I'll talk about that here. Now, there was one that I talked about a while back. It was a couple of years back. It was an urban legend called The Bus to Nowhere. That's the one that this one reminded me of, the video that I did back then. It's a similar thing. It's involving almost like a depressing, downtrodden type bus where if you're on it, you don't really know why, and you don't really have any info on where it's taking you. It just is, like it just exists. And supposedly it's almost like a phantom bus. It's the idea that it's there, but it's not there, and it's only there for people that it's meant for. So this urban legend, apparently there in Philadelphia, you may have a wandering bus. And then there was obviously multiple entries stating that they're in multiple parts of other cities as well. And I've never seen one here in my city, but those of you that may or may not have or know any other urban legends associated with these type of mysterious buses, almost like they're linked in a weird Silent Hill way, like they're ambient, like they know what someone is doing and they know the feeling that they have, and so they're there right when it happens, and it's almost like magic, again, like Silent Hill. So it's if that's the case and you know something like that in your town, let me know in the comments below. Next one is called Wait 3 Knocks, and here's what it says. Jason and Alicia were driving from their home in New Jersey to visit his parents in South Carolina. It was a long trip, but one that had taken many times before, so they were familiar with the route from start to finish. They had to wait to start driving until after work that evening and were scheduled to arrive at Mom and Dad's the next day. That night, construction and road work forced them to take a detour, which led them down a highway they had never taken before. While they were driving, their car broke down. Jason noticed they hadn't passed any gas stations or even a traffic light for quite a few miles, and just discovered that he didn't have a single bar of cell phone signal in that spot. And so he suggested to Alicia to wait in the car while he took a walk to get some help, or at least find a signal so he could make a phone call. He told her to lock the doors and hide under the blanket and not to come out until she heard 3 knocks on the roof. And so she sat there for what seemed like hours, waiting for Jason to come back and for the safety of those 3 knocks. Alicia grew anxious and concerned. What could be taking him so long? She thought to herself, maybe he needs my help. And so she pulled off the blanket and saw a strange man grinning at her with wild eyes and his face pressed up against the window. When he caught her eye, his smile widened as he held up the keys to the car. And then that's it. That's everything associated with this urban legend. So let's talk about that here. It kind of plays into the older urban legends as far as something happening somewhere where people go into some area that they normally wouldn't even dream of going. And then because of it, they're in an unfamiliar world. And lo and behold, everything is gone. Like no cell phone, no lights, no civilization, nothing. And then right when the worst thing could happen, it does. They come across some wandering local, somebody that is obviously very dangerous, somebody that they shouldn't be there at all. And so when that happens, that obviously turns into a horror type film. And that's what essentially this urban legend plays out like that. That's one of my worst fears is on my many travels that I do throughout Texas and so on, is being stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Now, not that I think that I'm going to run into somebody that's just like a wild person that's very dangerous, but I hate the idea of, let's say I'm driving out there somewhere at night and then boom, my tire goes. And when that happens, let's say there's nothing I can do to fix it, I'm stuck out there, at least until something happens. And one hopes that you have at least some cell coverage or someplace safe to stay the night and so on. Who knows? But that's, again, just one of my back fears that I have in my mind. And luckily that hasn't happened yet. Or even worse, running out of gas or something like that. Just something, in other words, that you're stuck out there or somewhere that you normally wouldn't be. That's why I try to stick in areas, even when I'm traveling everywhere throughout Texas, that at least have roads that are often traveled. That's my go-to spot. I have to be on a road that I have to see cars in. Otherwise, it's a different world. So that's at least my perspective on that. But let me know what you guys and gals think. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.